Welcome to the Offspace podcast. It's your host with the motherfucking most, True Offer.
And it's your favorite co-host, as Go Off. We're back at it again with another episode of the Offspace podcast.
Yes, sirski. And today we have our homeboy.
Friend of the pod.
Yes, sirski.
Friend of the pod, yes, sir.
Way too many episodes at this point. I can't even call it like special guest or anything like that. It's always special, but it's like this nigga just here.
Pretty much.
For sure. Yeah. But getting into it, how's y'all's weeks been?
Do you want to go ahead and go first, Colin?
I'll pop it off. My week has been stressful, you guys.
Damn.
Damn. Why's my week
It's been stressful.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's been living with me because she doesn't have power in New Orleans. So I had to deal with that. Shout outs to her, though. She's cool, but oof. Not smoking in my own crib. It brings me back to like high school, bro. Like,
my man's like, come on.
Man.
You suddenly feel like a lot younger again.
Bro, what? Like I said, high school again, dude. Like smoking in my closet days.
Like when you had to have the water bottle.
You feel me? Like it was those kind of vibes. But
bro, like question.
But shouts out to her being safe and all, you know.
Facts,
I know,
yeah. She got power. We're from the West Bank and it really doesn't flood out there, but I guess this year it just decided to. So thank God she lives on the second floor. So her apartment didn't flood out, but it was just crazy seeing that because that's history. Like it never floods in the West Bank. So
no, that's.
But she chilling though, so I guess we good. She out of here, as you guys can see.
Shouts out to that. I know you're excited for that one.
Yes,
Asgo, how you been doing this week?
I've been pretty good myself. You know, nothing too crazy's happened, but I will say that I went ahead and decided to get my piercings back. You know, it's been a minute.
Yes, sir. I saw him walk in here with a little more gusto. Like I know
a little more gusto.
A lot more gusto.
His chest was out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Been working out. Got the earrings. Everything's back. And I've just been a lot going through my head in the fact that, you know, every year we're not getting younger, and there's gonna be a point where I feel like all the things I would have enjoyed how they looked when I was younger, they're not gonna hit the same when I'm 40. Thanks. You know, they're not gonna hit the same when I'm 50.
100%. That's why we got to do shit now, and I need to stop running away from the dreads, but it's okay.
Both of y'all need to start running away,
bro. I just be so damn like
lock it up, bro. Lock it up.
I've been talking about this one for a bit, but I need to make them happen. So I've been putting back in the time and research to make sure I'm about to get done what I need to get done, because there's a lot that goes into it. And I remember when I was first thinking about getting dreads, like the amount of time I put into like learning about them and things like that, not to do them at that time, I feel like I played myself because I feel like I got to go ahead and do that all over again, you know?
Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, I feel like I'm going to end up like Ho. I'm going to end up getting them when I'm like 40 something.
Super late into the game.
Just super late into the game for sure. But just being like, screw it. Or like a Tim Duncan. That man old with some dreads too.
Man.
He was wanting them the whole time, I can tell.
I know.
The only thing that scares me, dude, is like getting older and my hair starts to go away.
Like falling out?
Yeah. And my hairline starts receding and shit. I start getting the little
oh yeah, the one that's hanging off.
Like that scares me. But Snoop Dogg gives me hope because his dreads look pretty good.
Sure. It looks like he's still like fully loaded at an old age.
At an old age.
But Snoop Dogg. And I say that because just like we were talking about earlier, you know, Drew Brees with his new hair.
Oh, with the new toupee.
LeBron James acting like nothing ever happened. But we know his hair looked completely different for years.
I think that's another thing.
No one's going to question it.
Do you think Snoop Dogg's fooling people?
Snoop Dogg?
No, or do you think that's all natural? Like he's just chilling?
I think that might be all natural, bro.
Yeah, I think honestly, like Bronze should add to him. I think that's another point he gets on the GOAT argument, because the fact that he really like went from like the clearest of balding that we've ever seen, bought a new hairline, and he just is like, so like no one can tell him nothing about
his confidence about it. It's like crazy. You wouldn't even know. Like he walks around like you don't know. Like,
he walks around like we don't have video and pictures. He's like, so who cares? I love that.
There was somebody who got their hair completely done, like changed in the NBA, and I remember after they did it look so crazy that people gave them hell for like a minute after.
Was he wrong?
It wasn't.
He couldn't pull it off.
And he changed it after too.
I would act like nothing happened. Like, I'd be like, why are y'all tripping?
Like, be like, I'm pussy. Like, what?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
But
yeah, that's mine.
For me though, I've been chilling this week though. Like, I think it just adds on to a little bit of what we were talking about last week. I'm just on a wave to where, like, yes, shit gets stressful and shit is up and down sometimes, but I just, for some reason, feel so okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, just feel so straight at all times. Like, I'm really not tripping about much. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's good, man. That's good. I know it feels like it's been hella hours doing shit, right?
Oh my goodness.
Doing stuff. My bad. I'm trying my best not to curse.
We're trying to
kids,
become a PBS program.
Really? All right, I'm not going to curse starting now.
Good luck.
Let's see how long we all make it. Oh my!
I said that same thing like so many episodes ago.
But I wanted to give a shout out this episode just in case I didn't say it last episode because I don't remember. But I wanted to make sure we recognize the fact that it has been 3 years since Mac Miller passed. Like I think that's definitely something important to say. R.I.P. R.I.P. Mac Miller and everything at the front of the podcast. Especially because I think we have a lot of giggles today, and I don't want to really.
I know, spoil it with that. Hey, honestly, that should spark a lot of fentanyl awareness.
For sure,
for sure. There's little kits that you can buy to test if the drugs that you do purchase are fentanyl and whatnot. So,
and a lot of big states. Like
that's important to say.
I wanted to get into that. I appreciate you saying that because there's a lot of big states. If you could look up resources to find free drug kits as well. Thanks. And I know some people are like, "Oh, why are you promoting that?" People are promoting that. People whatsoever. Are doing drugs regardless. Like I'm never gonna tell somebody, "Yo, go do some drugs." But if people are going to do it regardless, I'd much rather y'all not just do something that's going to kill you. You know what I'm saying?
When I heard that they were finding fentanyl and like weed, I'm like, look, like go test your shit. Even if you think it's the safest thing ever, go be safe a little bit, or like start giving like tips on the plugs and shit. But
bro, one of my dogs gave a tip today. Like he was just being so honest because you have to be honest with the youth. Like he said, look, I may or may not be saying. So he was just letting y'all know that he's seen this and it is what it is. And this is a person that doesn't even smoke himself, but he said, I may or may not be saying that certain plugs may break down their fentanyl products on the same table that they break down their weed without cleaning it, without anything like that. And that may be how fentanyl's ending up in some of y'all's weed. So y'all need to be careful with whose stuff y'all are doing and who you trust and all that nowadays. So I mean, like, it is very, very major to be very much like on top of it with anything now. Yeah.
Can I be honest with y'all? This is the kind of dare class they should have had back when I was in like high school, middle school. Because whatever they told didn't stick, you know? Not necessarily for me, but I can say for like...
I'd love to be real.
The world at large.
Because people are going to do drugs regardless.
Regardless of what anyone says. It's just going to happen.
But moving right along to music for this week. Let's get into our heat checks. I want to say let's just go start it off with Cullen's heat check. And what is that for you this week?
All I can tell you guys is it's off of Baby Keem's album. Something business.
First order of business.
First order of business. We put on the spot for there real fast without actually having that one locked down.
I hate to sound like a hater, you guys, but I did not enjoy this album.
Oh no, we'll get into the Baby Keem.
We'll get into it. Because I'm curious to hear what you guys say.
But I did enjoy Top of the Morning.
Top of the morning.
Top in the morning. Whatever he was saying. Right. I'm fine with that too.
That's yes, sir. Yeah, let's go ahead and double down on that one. But no, I'm joking. Always shouts out. But this is First Order of Business by Baby Keem.
Yes, sir. That's my heat check.
I really do fuck with that new Keem project. Man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It has some tracks, but I was expecting like some real heat, you know.
I think go hard.
We're gonna get more into that probably. Like, do you guys want to just go ahead and talk about it now? I'm just genuinely curious.
Oh yeah, I only had like one thing to say on it, to be quite honest. It was just like I enjoyed the Baby Keem project for reasons other than good music, which is weird. It's like, yes, some of the songs were fire, some of the songs were probably more romantic to me. But I like how experimental he was as a big artist when it seems like a lot of big artists are staying in their pockets right now, like being a lot less experimental.
And that's exactly what I was going to say the same, because at the end of the day, it made me like and not like certain songs. But the songs I did like, I really liked. The songs I didn't is like, we'll keep it pushing. But that's what happens when you try some shit that's not normal. And I'm kind of happy to hear that because while I feel like we're in a good pocket of rap where we're getting a lot of good songs, we can't lie and say that a lot of songs don't sound like really similar. You know what I mean?
For sure.
No, there's a lot of shit I love that sounds really similar, to be honest. A lot of these niggas using the exact same producer. I like hearing it every time. I hate that I'm like that, but it's okay. But as go hard with your heat check.
My heat check this week comes from Maxo Kream featuring Tyler the Creator.
Oh, man.
And it is called Big Persona. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
Fuck these niggas talking about million for the summer house.
I love Tyler on his rappy rap shit.
Facts.
Riding around in that thing with the center roll. And the inside of homes like a cantaloupe. Got a Grammy and that just the interlude. Y'all niggas lucky I ain't snatched the other two. Got a lemon that sit on the egg ring. And that bitch glimmering like bling. Dance on the moon to be like sing. Nigga, so far. Damn, bro, that neck on land. Move the pinks and blue, the yellow, you that shit like rainbows. Big shit, big money, big cars, big Jews, big y'all.
And I love everything Maxo's doing. This is Nigerian magic. Shout out to Tyler and Maxo's heritage.
Maxo's so underrated.
Yes, sir.
Very. All right. So on that tip, it's just like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I just love when Tyler's on his rap shit too. But at the same time, the song still sounds different.
For sure.
I know it's not like crazy different from things we've heard in the past, but it's still different from what we've been hearing a lot of right now. So that definitely stood out to me.
Tyler's always going to add that element, which I do appreciate. I do appreciate the fact that if Tyler the Creator is going to get on it, literally it might just be his voice too, or the way he performs on tracks, but he makes it sound different from the norm. Like he can get on like a crazy trap beat and it's still just going to sound like a different thing because it's Tyler the Creator. You know what I'm saying? I love that shit. But
Tyler's a genius.
Absolutely. I agree with that. But mine's going to be a little bit of a throwback. I'm going to Friday Night Lights. Shouts out to J. Cole. And I'm doing Looking for Trouble. And I'm going to play a little bit of Cole's verse. Make way for the chosen one. What you now hear is putting fear in all the they don't even let niggas rap like this no more. Like punchlines.
I think he had the hardest verse on this trip. You just had a hard verse, Big Sean.
Oh, Big Sean went nice. He was second for Sean. Never say I'm better than Ho, but I'm the closest one. Heard you looking for trouble, what I'm supposed to run? Your bitch invited me inside it, ain't I supposed to come? Come on now. Got niggas that'll blow your tee off, put a hole in one, now you outside of heaven's gate, frontin' like you know someone. Talking hard, but y'all still ain't push me. They say you are what you eat, and I still ain't pussy.
Oh. Snap.
Nah, shouts out to Cole for real. But getting more into music just from this week alone, I wanted to just start us off a little bit of just asking you guys. I know Esgo's thoughts from before, and so I didn't know Cullen's. I know kind of Cullen's thoughts a little bit from before, just from what I've seen you tweet. But now that you've let CLB sit for a little bit and you've let Donda sit for a little bit, not which one is better, but has your thoughts on either changed? Like, has anything gone up on the rankings or kind of gone down on the rankings a little bit?
The more I listen to him, Donda goes up on the rankings to me. The funny thing about CLB is like it dropped while I was on vacation, so you're obviously going to like make memories to that music and like
100%
deeply enjoy that music. But it's just something that like sits with Donda to me. Is just, to me, Donda sounds like more of an album than CLB does. And we talked about this earlier, but I think a lot of it hurt because I've heard like a lot of these songs because of the leak that came out like last year around this time. So.
Which is very unique.
Which is, very unique for Drake because that's never happened. Like I've never. The only thing that had leaked was if you're reading this, it's too late. It leaked like a couple of days before the actual album came out.
Oh yeah. That was the first time.
That was the first time that's ever happened. You feel me? So like, with that,
how about you, Esgo? Since I know, but from before, just to reiterate a tiny bit for the audience, like, how did you think you felt? When you first
I'll say this.
One or two.
Donda, talking on that one, I haven't gone back. I can't give an educated opinion on how it's aged because I've just been listening to CLB. But that to be said about CLB isn't like it's perfect. On more listens, there are definitely certain songs that I'm like, okay, I don't really need to hear this one, like when I'm going through. But the ones that did, only are getting better. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they're only aging a little bit better to me, and I'm kind of blessed to have that because unlike y'all, I don't listen to leaks. Like I, you know what I mean?
Like yo,
man, people be sending me the links to all this, and I just keep thinking to myself,
I was so excited.
Like,
I was so excited with that folder, ready to go home and listen.
Bro, what?
They're unfinished. I keep telling myself, no matter if like if they're good or not, they're never gonna be as good as the artist wants them. And if they end up on the album, I'm just gonna be sad. So I'm just gonna wait. And so In Too Deep, again, probably one of my favorite songs on there. TSU. Man, I'm having whole think pieces made about that song that are completely wrong.
I'm glad you enjoyed TSU because that was one of the ones on the leaks.
Oh, that was one of them ones, 100%.
It was originally called Not Around.
I remember when the future one was Desires, right?
Yeah.
I wonder why it was called Not Around.
Yeah, I wonder why is it.
That was the
wrong. Hold on, I got you.
No, that's still the wrong one.
Oh, no, wait, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Hold on, we're official.
D for drums. Okay.
D for drums.
Okay, now we got it.
Yo, I have not been around for that. Like, that was golden, bro.
How do you fuck with the new setup? Before I get into mine, do you fuck with that?
I had already peeped on Instagram. I was
for sure.
I just cussed.
It's all right. You didn't make it.
It's been a while though. It was a while.
You made it a long time. I think I already messed up.
I messed up 2 minutes after.
I was very impressed though. I was like, these guys went and got them an interface. Like, they not playing.
Yes, sir. Steve.
Also, question: does nigga count as a curse word?
No, you're good, bro.
Can't for us. If you guys think it is, you're racist.
Don't ever forget that.
Don't ever forget that. And so, for me with CLB though, I'll start with Donda.
Yeah.
Donda, I think has aged better for me because of how musical it is, and I want to go ahead and say that with a preface though. It's like
you weren't fucking with Donda before.
No, it's what I think for Donda is. The nature of the album is what upsets me, right? For my selfish desire as a consumer, because I think that Donda is an outstanding album. I think like from a musical standpoint, it truly is really a work of art. Like you could see the musicality, like Kanye's going to put into everything. Like we talked about, like 87 engineers like chopping at all times. It's going to sound gorgeous, but I needed cuss words. I needed like the expression of opinion through some different ways. I didn't like as much of the gospel-y like theme. You know, I like the certain songs with it. Don't get me wrong, because you know some of my favorite TLOP songs have God as like the as the main theme. So it's not necessarily God being the main theme of the whole album. It's just kind of the expectation I went into with some of the artists that I saw featured. That being said, everyone did well. Everyone performed well. So it's an album I think is going to age well for me. But in Kanye's discography and knowing I want to go play Kanye West, past this year, I'm probably not going to listen to much on Donda, only because it's going to be like, yo, I want to play Kanye. I'm going to go listen to the Kanye albums I like.
That man said past this year.
And that's just what I know about it personally.
That's
but
tough because like there's only a couple more months.
With CLB though, that is true. But with CLB, it's like, I was saying crazy takes last week, of course, but I think it's gone down a little bit. And what I will say for why I think it's gone down is there are certain songs I know I'm not going to give much play, but the like 10 plus songs that I really, really like are going to be in rotation like it's an album.
Yeah.
And so like me saying it's going down is only because, yes, I will continue to play CLB a lot, but because of the fact that I'm just going to be like very much intentionally ignoring a whole chunk of an album. You know what I'm saying? It just makes it feel like I can't say it went up, even though my love for the certain songs went up.
So do I ask though, is this the chance and the time where you utilize that playlist feature and you go ahead and make a playlist called CLB and just put the songs that you like in it in that order?
Or just delete the ones I don't like.
Honestly, I salute you for having 10 songs, man. Because like, to me, it might be a solid like 6.
That you
5
really,
or 6
really
that I
liked?
really like.
Mm-hmm.
I like the first part of Champagne Poetry.
You didn't like the beat switch?
I think I like the second half more than the first.
I like the first half way more because the way that they chop they chop the it's not so much as the I love you part, but it's the ooh, like the way that he actually chopped that to me was beautiful.
Oh,
and I'm a big fan of like, I call it the 40 effect. It's when you like, you take the high and the low end off and you put the radio effect. Like I love that so much.
No, that shit is one
Like,
of my. I'm
that's
so
the
happy
40
how you
effect to me.
explained it.
Like, yeah, that's the 40 effect right there. That's what I call it. But
That's one of my favorite like little additions in music.
Man, I tried to do that for
truly,
you,
I'm
and you
not
told me it
gonna lie
wasn't working yesterday.
to you. No,
I took the high and the low end off. He said he didn't like the reverb.
No, but
he didn't like the reverb.
I didn't like the
on there.
reverb because I didn't like how I sounded. myself
reverb's a
on
bit
the mic.
much. Sometimes, man, that's a whole nother conversation. But sometimes reverb can be a bit much. You just got to know how to freak it a little bit.
Oh, I didn't. So like, no, for sure. Like, it all made sense when he said it. I said, well, shit, I don't really know what I'm doing. So,
Man.
But so y'all feel me though? Like in terms of that is why I can't say it aged better.
yeah.
To me, it's the production value of Donda. It sounds like so many producers and writers and engineers were like working on this album because like
The production value is insane.
the production
though.
value is
Like
wow.
Donda is one of. I think I would have honestly, and this is gonna sound shitty to say, but just being completely honest, like I think if Donda was just like a beat tape, you know what I'm saying, of just like
Man.
how he fucked with everything and made everything sound so incredible, I think I could have just listened to the music by itself, like longer for more longevity in my
Yeah.
life than knowing that this is a Kanye West album though, because you have to think about it I think about it like 5-10 years from now,
Mhm.
right? Like I still go back to Nothing Was the Same. I still go back to Take Cares. And for CLB, I know the chunk of songs I like on this, I'm still going to go back to.
Yeah.
Like for Kanye, it's like if I'm going to go back and listen to Kanye's discography 5-10 years from now, I know for a fact I'm probably going to skip over Donda. Like and just go to the albums I like.
It feels
Yeah.
wild because I feel like he set such a high standard of like what quality
Crazy
what is
run.
to himself, so that it is kind of hard. Even because I think Donda holds up really well with some of his earlier projects, but I think the break from Ye to Jesus is King to Donda made it so that Donda's not going to be received as well no matter what. But honestly, man, like I hate comparing it and CLB in general, and I know we're not trying to do that here.
For sure.
Because like they were shooting for much different things, you know. I feel like Drake was trying to stay in his pocket of just trying to relay some emotion, some feeling, and trying to like again connect and make things like that be a little catchy, blah blah blah. Kanye was just trying to deliver on the production, and some of the other
For
things
sure.
turned out really well too. But I think they both excelled in what they were trying to do.
I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. Is it okay if I go pee real quick?
Bro, do what you gotta do. Go hard. Like, go ahead.
I was kind of scared there for a second.
No, I was about to say, like, this is definitely like you are chilling, my boy. But we'll just move right along.
Yeah.
After Donda and CLB, I wanted to give a big shout out to
Yeah.
I wanted to give a big shout out to the Blues Clues moment.
I was gonna say, man, this is important.
Just because of the fact that I mean we are all people that grew up around the same era. And so growing up around the same era, growing up around the same people and seeing some of the same stuff, we saw like we saw the Nickelodeon effect with what they had in Blues Clues, right?
Dude, it was major, and just how many people. Okay, because I'll say this: like when you're young, I know obviously like Sesame Street and all the Muppets and things like that are way bigger than I guess like a lot of the other conventional shows and their characters and the kind of whole community and world behind them. But something like Blues Clues really did. And Blue himself really held up to like an Elmo at a time, and it was really that guy. So when you have a whole generation attached to a show, and for Steve to just up and leave one day, the man kind of popped out. Like,
I remember when Steve left, I was so confused. Like
he said where he was going to, and people just acted like he didn't.
No, people acted like he just went to the grocery store and said he was grabbing some milk and never came home. But it's like this nigga Steve like announced it. There was a rollout. He told us what he was gonna do, and still when it happened, nigga, I was fucked up. I was like, no, he really left though, for real.
I said, so when's he coming back? Oh, the next season. And then I can't remember what his cousin's name is, but he's still there.
Bro, speaking of, I remember when you were talking to me earlier this week about like some of the importance of PBS shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
And like and how sometimes some of them may be underrated and how some of us may not talk enough
Bro,
about
those
PBS
shows are major just in how much they really do. Like even my desire to see the world, I firmly believe comes from like obviously some things I think they were started and the seed was laid by certain shows and things I saw early on in life. So whether that was like excuse us for that one real quick, but whether that was shows like a Magic School Bus type shit or honestly it was the Reading Rainbow with like LeVar Burton type that made me just think, damn, I want to go on like a hike, you know, and things like that and see certain things.
No, I mean, in all honesty, they spurred some of my biggest points of my imagination. I remember listening, well, was it Between the Lines? No, it wasn't Between the Lines. It was Dragon Tales. I remember Dragon Tales genuinely making me feel like and believe that I was about to find some like hidden land as a kid. And then I remember even thinking corny ass Cyber Chase was cool. Like, do you remember
Cyber Chase was
was
cool.
so cool.
It was cool. Okay, I thought I was a
Come
square
on,
for thinking
man.
Cyber Chase was cool.
As fuck.
All of a sudden, your parents are grounding you. Like, oh, they're gonna trip when I'm gone. I'm going to my room and I'm disappearing.
Oh, going crazy. Ready and willing. But
man, so shouts out to like being able to come back years later, but it's also one of those moments that I guess like every year now I start to feel more old for sure, and just like life gets put into perspective that it's not forever and like this, that, and the third. But seeing Steve pop up kind of looking old, talking about, yeah, I've been gone, but 20 something years later, Blue's Clues, I'm like, shit, it's been a minute. So yeah, that one was interesting to see. I apologize for that interference, y'all. Not really sure where that's coming from, but we're working on pinpointing it.
yeah, live technical difficulties is hilarious. But moving right along, one of the funniest things that I think I've seen in sort of like an interactive,
I think it's picking up interference from like a phone or cable or something. Yeah, probably.
Oh,
I was about to say probably.
Oh, that is hilarious.
That's crazy.
No, I honestly, I really thought to me that we just had some cords fucking up. You know how sometimes you'll have like your headset in? I'm like, all right, maybe if I do a little jiggle. Like,
I was just thinking, I was like, it can't
Really?
be.
Because he has his phone.
Yeah, I think it's just that mic. That mic is not as good as these.
That's crazy.
Oh no.
It's true.
We just got exposed.
We're getting exposed on live air.
On air.
Look, if y'all wanted to fund the Offspace, we could have been further along by now. But yeah,
crazy.
Patreon coming soon.
It wasn't doing that earlier though.
No, that's hilarious. It's one of these.
All right,
that's the wrong one. Sorry. No, guys, quit. Stop. Everybody, leave us alone. Everybody. All right, we're back. All right, we fixed it. But
That's crazy.
But one of the funnier things that happened this week, just getting right back on track, is the Jay-Z moment. But it wasn't necessarily Jay-Z, but with all the like little Jay-Z dinner, which this Jay-Z dinner joke, and mind you, I may just be very ignorant of the fact that it just probably reached like mass society because I've seen it on Black Twitter for so long. But it's like
Black Twitter.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we have seen it for like at least 2 years.
Yeah, so I've
It's
been
been
seeing the
years.
jokes for a couple years, but let's be real. I remember when
I swear that joke started out as like 5 or 10K. That's why I kind of want to search my tweets so I don't look like a goofy. Because I was one of the people that said I would take the dinner with Jay-Z. But when it was like 10K though, like 10 bands, I'm not tripping. Anything, a penny more, I got to take my money. That's crazy.
I just feel like, what is Jay-Z going to tell me? Yo, invest in this art, bro. Nigga, I'm broke.
Bro, I don't even...
No, the thing is, if he does, I'm like, I'm doing that now, bro.
Yeah, like, what are you going to...
It's not even
I have something to learn, but...
The 500K is wild. You are nuts.
So that's way too much money.
But the 10K, I didn't even think about it having anything to do with Jay-Z. That's so wild. The 10K to me was me winning a dinner with Jay-Z. Even if it was some weird sweepstakes, right? And you win it and that's cool. And like, haha, which one do you pick? The fact that I'm even in the conversation with something with a Jay-Z, that 10K was worth it in like marketing dollars to just get my name out there and give me like that second. You know what I'm saying? Like to open that window.
If it's like one of those, I know a lot of people have the fears though, because like we were talking, imagine it's a sweepstakes, right? And you know, on those, they're not going to
want to talk to you.
They're not giving you the energy you need. You know, they're not trying to talk to you.
It's a sweepstakes.
Bro, I went to dinner with Jay-Z as a sweepstakes and he's not trying to talk to me. I'm giving him shit. At that dinner, I'm being like, you really not gonna fuck with me?
I'm roasting this nigga. Come on, you entered in this for what,
really
nigga? Not a combo.
How many times I get to do this, man? You can't even talk to me? Okay, cool, I see. Act in Hollywood, it's whatever. Nah,
but it was funny that the title account actually tweeted out this week, take the 500K.
I was gonna ask, what's the least amount of, I guess, what's the lowest amount that it could be to where you would not take the money?
Take the money?
Yeah.
Probably like $500. I take
anything over that. You're taking it.
What the fuck is Jay-Z going to tell me?
Over it,
what is Jay-Z going to tell me?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. $500. There's no way. There's no way.
Honestly, I might take the $500.
That's hard to believe. That's very.
Bro, what the fuck is Jay-Z going to tell me?
I'll tell you what. He could tell you, bro. I mean, on a low end, like say, hey man, you know anybody that needs a coder? I'm asking for like a job break or something. I mean, even on a low end.
You know, on a low, I was thinking the opportunity, like, yo, I make beats, bro. Fuck with me. But
there's a lot of people that try and get.
You think he's ever actually you think he's ever actually opening the email of the pack of beats from the guy from the?
I don't think he opens up his email.
Jay-Z's not opening up a random email from RH Cullen Beats like 4 beats, bro. Fuck no.
See, that's what I'm telling you, bro. I'm just thinking about Complex, XXL, and all the magazines that are going to be like, oh, this guy won the dinner with Jay-Z. That's enough for me. That's enough for the time for me.
I mean, I feel you. I would honestly have my beats playing the whole time I'm eating dinner.
You be annoying this nigga. You be like the nigga on the bus.
Like, yeah, like y'all made beats, bro. Let me play you some. He doesn't even want to hear it, but I'm like, fuck it, nigga. About to, I just cussed again.
No,
you know, it's a little bit harder than I thought.
Way harder, right? Because you're just trying to be like yourself, and all of a sudden things slip out. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not shit.
Niggas cussing and stuff.
Damn, I did it twice. That being said, it's kind of genius marketing. Before we roll off of this topic, imagine for Jay-Z's next album that he's inevitably going to drop, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For sweepstakes, it's buy a CD and you enter yourself to either have the option to win a dinner with him or take $500K. You know how many people would go buy that CD?
That is true.
I think a lot.
I think my gross of royalties,
$500K.
The money I would get
the
from
dinner with him. But if you buy a CD, you get to have that option.
The $500K would be more money, I feel like, in the end,
though. Than the amount of sales you get?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot that you gain from outside of just the CD sales. And to be honest, I don't think so. Because, okay, let's say...
I just look at it so much from a marketing standpoint. I don't know about 500
you'd have to sell 50,000 copies at $10 to get that $500K. But I know obviously that's not that's not realistic because there's other things being taken into account like the expenses, how much you're really getting taxes and shit like that. But
fuck that, give me that $500K.
Oh, you got to buy the CD though.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm taking the
loot. Like what? But
yeah.
I guess I didn't really have much else in pop culture just because none of us cared about the fact that the VMAs is today. Like,
why do we keep doing this every year? I was hoping this was the year, and I kind of felt bad for bringing it up. I was just hoping we'd go over it at some point. You know what I mean? Like you don't even say nothing.
Who's performing? You guys don't know either.
Don't worry, I got you.
I'm not too sure. This is really awkward now that you put on the spot.
Dua Lupe.
Okay, look, you know.
Did you say Dua Lupe?
You know, how do you say her name?
Oh, no.
Dua Lipa.
Where'd I get the Lupe from? Holy shit.
Lupe Fiasco. He rapped over Champagne Poetry this week.
And Freddie Gibbs did.
Freddie Gibbs went crazy. And he called out Kendrick on the low C.
What's the point? Jesus.
There's no point. Truly.
Kendrick doesn't have to say anything after he said top of the morning.
This nigga said top of the morning.
Top of the morning. I feel that.
No, if I'm Kendrick Lamar and I just got on an album and spazzed out saying top of the morning, I promise you none of y'all rappers not named Drake is going to get me out of bed.
I just want to know why that got as big as it did. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. So, like...
I think it was just like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, I guess.
You guys remember that vape, by any chance?
I have no clue.
Back in your hands. I would double check that pocket.
Back in your hands.
From where? I don't know.
It's funny. It's funny with how society's kind of shifted with vapes being so like normal and everywhere that we've all kind of gotten used to. I think people that smoke and people who don't smoke have kind of gotten used to the like look for the vape game or like where is this thing?
Check your
who's
pockets.
Holding it? You start to see people freaking out. I'm a freak out person. I'm not gonna lie to you when I don't have my nicotine.
I drink on my White Claws. White Claws has hit the streets like crack in the 80s for me. Because I used to make fun of people for drinking White Claws.
Yo, you remember, funny enough, I think there was a situation where we brought around some White Claws with you.
And he made fun of us.
And you made fun of us.
And they're fire.
And they're fire.
And you know they're fire. See, I know. Sometimes niggas gotta walk back there a little bit.
Hey, I will gladly accept
But Cullen is somebody I will say that he will be quick to roast, but he will walk back the hate. He will walk back the hate and laugh at it every time. That should be hilarious. Look, I was wrong. Fuck it.
I was wrong, bro. Because a White Claw has become my official summer drink.
Like, because it's so easy, so little calories. Bro, it's water.
It's water.
And like more times than not, they taste good.
They do.
It's not even like they taste all right. Like most drinks just taste all right. They taste good,
bro.
Especially decent flavor. Shout
on
out
the
to
low,
the mango one.
Vizzy low key makes some like quality flavor ones. They just have this really artificial alcohol taste to me.
Oh yeah, they have like a little bit weird of the back.
Does it taste like metal?
That little chemically flavor a little
yeah,
bit.
it's like
Okay, I know what you're
flavor
talking about.
type
Nar
shit.
water is outstanding. That's the one that
Really?
I found last year. That shouts out to Scott.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's crazy. But some of the last things we have wrapping up for the pod is we have just sports stuff. We saw that Max Kellerman ended up getting his. We saw that Max Kellerman ended up getting his show. So shouts out to him because he got removed from Skips. But then not Skip from Stephen A. Smith's show. But Stephen A. Smith even went out of his way to say he did ask for Max to get removed. I know he said it like a great politically correct, I'll give him his chance, do his own thing, blah, 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 blah. But are y'all even going to tune into I think Max Kellerman seems like a cool dude.
Bro, I don't tune into any of these until no
solo
offense.
Max show.
I don't really tune into these until they get clipped on YouTube.
Honestly.
And so,
I never watched any of these shows live. Never. Undisputed. First Take, none
it's
of that
always
shit.
YouTube clips, actually.
It's always YouTube clips, always.
I think I only watched them live when I worked at a shop that I controlled the TVs and I was there early enough that I just put sports shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they know that too. Like, they know the people that are going to keep on being in their market aren't going to be the ones that tune in live. So
it cracks me up that Stephen A. Smith is obviously the toxic one, but he's like getting his way every time.
Because he works 38 hours a day.
And I respect that. He's on every flight, going to every game.
Oh, for sure. That's why I think he realizes he's in a position he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Is that realistic at a certain point?
It can't be.
And I feel like you stop liking the sports that you're watching.
Yeah.
Bro, he's had like a week of vacation in the last
I think
2
he just
years.
likes to yell.
Damn.
He's on TV every day for everything for them. Every day.
I just think he likes to yell. And it's just funny because he talks to Max Kellerman like he's a complete idiot.
Bro, he talked to Max like he was a peon.
Yeah,
bro.
like a peon every time.
Like he was a peon.
And he has the nerve to be like, I want Max to go. Like,
he did always kind of treat his opinions like, you don't know what you're talking about.
He always says that. You don't know what you're talking about.
Bro, I hate that angle too because
he said, I called them, I talked to them. I was like, bro.
And all respect to Stephen A. Smith.
You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
And all respect to Stephen A. Smith,
Yeah.
100%. But nigga. And all respect to Max Kellerman, truly.
It was Skip Bayless first, and now it's Max.
It's just like, bro, I'm never sitting on a show and getting talked to like a peon the whole
Definitely
time.
not.
That's so crazy. I
I would
understand it's
tell him,
earning
like,
your
You don't know what you're talking about.
That's nuts.
It's bigger than this, bro. We can turn the cameras off.
I think that's why Max got kicked off because he was always ready to snap back. He was like, bro, you're not about to talk to me like no.
He said it's bigger than
It's
this.
bigger than this, bro. Like, we can turn the cameras off. Like, you're not gonna talk to me like this, man.
That's so crazy. We can go figure that out and what it is. Niggas are weird.
Niggas are
but
so weird, bro.
I know there's a power dynamic and complex in most things. And I understand that a lot of these shows, though, they play a character. That's why some of these shows I don't like myself because of the caricatures people have to play. Like,
I think it's important to note, though, like was mentioned earlier, a lot of these aren't being tuned into on TV. A lot of these are being tuned into on YouTube, right? So like when you're tuning into it on like a streaming platform or something like that, you gotta have, I put in the air quotes for everybody listening and not watching. You got to have somebody that's going to make it go viral. So, you know, they're still playing into that and like they used to, but playing into it even more because they know that's where the consumers are. So, hey, it works for some people. Like Stephen A goes viral every week, damn near, like during sports seasons.
Bro, he has some of the best viral
That's
videos.
crazy.
The worst period in history character in all of sports media is Skip Bayless's "I Hate LeBron" character, though.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
So horrible.
I don't understand it.
Like, bro, Space Jam came out and he was talking about his performance of Space Jam versus Jordan's, bro. I was sitting there like, it can't have come to this.
I don't get it. I don't know what it is. Like, why he has his underlying beef like with LeBron.
You know he likes him.
You know he loves
You know
LeBron.
he
That's the
goes
worst
home
part.
and he
I
likes
know,
No
man.
man be up at like 2:30 in the morning tweeting about LeBron.
And the thing is, though, I know LeBron probably hates this nigga.
You know, I think LeBron probably doesn't even like know that Skip Bayless is doing all of this.
Bro, LeBron be responding to shit on Twitter, bro. I feel like LeBron.
You know he do.
I feel like
Low-key-
LeBron, the type
low-key
that
he
probably
does.
actually pays attention.
He knows. He just
sees all this.
I feel like he just isn't going
And
to
he
care
knew the
too much until it's time.
The skits, the dude that did the
Oh,
skits,
yeah.
he was even reenacting them.
Yeah.
Like,
Because to be
LeBron
fair, I
pays
bet
attention.
Bronny probably shows him.
Yeah,
Having
he has kids.
Having
so
a
I'm pretty
kid
sure
that's
they show.
actually a late teen too is probably very helpful in this day and age.
Do you guys think Bronny would be as good as LeBron?
No.
Bro, that's a tough question to ask, man. Is Bronny going to be the greatest of all time?
It never
Probably
works
not.
out though for like son and father.
That's-
like besides the Curry family,
That's
It
the
never
hard thing
works
in
out.
holding a
I
standard.
mean, and Steph's
though.
so much better than his dad. Like,
So it worked
Yeah.
out because his dad was a good player. Don't get me wrong, but Steph became one of the over one of them. You know,
if it's like
to
if
be
you're
that
that intensely
though.
passionate about becoming the GOAT of a sport, that's not even like it's not even skill at that point. It's not skill. It's not talent. It's past skill, it's past talent, it's obsession. And to want to be the best and the greatest of all time in something where it takes the 0.0001% of people to get to, that's unrealistic to expect that somebody even wants that. So like, can Bronny be better than his dad? Maybe. Will he? Probably not, because I bet he doesn't even want to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even on forging his own paths, and exactly to piggyback a little bit off of what you said, it's like, if you make it a GOAT Island, right? You could be a perennial all-star. Your son can literally be an all-star their whole career. You know what I'm saying? And still is most likely going to be worse than you, because there's single-digit people that have made it to that island. You know,
bro. I'm about to nerd out on something and explain it too, because like, you know, earlier on this pandemic, right? I was streaming, right, and I was playing this game, and so I got to a rank in it that was pretty high. But the amount of work that I put to get to that point, the fact that there was still like a decent amount of people, majority of the North America wasn't better than me. Majority of the world wasn't better than me. The single digit percentages of how good I was. But the fact there was still a handful of people that were way better, and I saw the amount of time I put into it, I was like, I'm good, bro.
I'm
like,
good.
Y'all are doing too much.
I'm good, bro.
Doing a lot. It's a shift. It really
is
every day,
shift.
like a work shift. That's the training and practice. But other than that, I didn't really have much of sports to say.
Y'all got any predictions for this upcoming season for the Saints? You already know what it is. First game,
actually, I'm going to use this
touchdowns.
I'm going to use this time to say this. All right, Coach Orgeron and LSU football.
Whoa,
you guys got to get this shit together, bro.
For sure.
I've never seen an LSU team this bad.
This trash in my life.
This is horrible. Like, I'm used to seeing mediocre defense. That's fine with me. That's great. I'm used to seeing us be able to run the fucking ball, though.
At least.
I'm used to seeing us stop the run and have decent defense.
At least.
What is this? This is ridiculous. How do you have a top 5 recruiting class for the past 5 years, and we're out here struggling to win against McNeese State? McNeese, my nigga. Literally, bro, Coach O's son plays for McNeese, and he threw a touchdown. Like, he threw a touchdown against LSU.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about clutch double agent?
Coach O's a double agent.
Coach O he has to be in double agent. Because what is this?
Bro,
this is ridiculous.
We won a national championship, and now we started off a season losing to UCLA. I don't even care about UCLA.
We won a natty, and we went from that to going 5-6
the next season.
And if you look at the teams we lost to, Mississippi State, Missouri, we got blown out by Auburn. Auburn scored like 58 points on us.
And Auburn looked like Ducks the year before.
Ducks, bro.
Hey, let me say something, though, because like I do want to go back and say some positivity in here. You know, potentially bringing back this season. UCLA, if they win a national championship, is that going to change y'all's opinion?
No.
That's not going to change my opinion at all, bro, because UCLA's peak of recruiting is 28. All right.
Talk about it.
Our peak in recruiting was 3. 3. There's a huge gap in between that, bro. There's no excuse.
People aren't choosing that.
We had better athletes across the field.
Yeah.
We had better athletes. We got bullied around in the trenches. Offensive line was horrible. They ran the ball on us. Given UCLA is not that bad of a team, and they came with a chip on their shoulder, they came with a lot to prove. But this is LSU standard, bro. This is LSU. 38 points. We let a Pac-12 team score 38 points on us.
And we used to know those were dubs, no matter who it was.
Dubs.
No matter who it was.
Us and Vanderbilt were the only teams that lost that Sunday.
That's not a good group to be in, for sure.
That's not a good group to be in whatsoever, bro. Like, I love Coach O. I love his recruiting stance and whatnot. But, like, look at him on the sideline when he's watching the games. He's not interacting with the players or the coaches. He's just sitting there looking goofy. If you look at the greats, you look at Nick Saban, you look at Ryan Day, you look at Lincoln Riley, they're in there. They're talking to the coordinator. They're talking to the players. Coach O is just sitting there minding his business.
Because you got to make the players believe in you.
He has to go. I haven't seen that dog in LSU in a while. Like, you can say what you want about LSU. We've had years of being mediocre, but one thing you can't say is our defense was bad. We have some of the greatest defensive backs, some of the greatest linebackers, like in the history of NFL. Devin White, he was like a LSU star. He won a Super Bowl last year. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, he won a Super Bowl. Trey Davis, he's one of the best DBs in the league. Like,
and we have young dogs that came out of that LSU championship
we haven't
team.
seen that. We have not seen that dog since 2019. And this isn't LSU standard. Honestly, if Coach O doesn't get it together, he's going to be fired before the end of this season.
And that's kind of crazy to think about, like this few years removed. But I guess it is college football, and you see, like, no one is really safe at the end of the day.
What if they pull another one of those years that we lost a homecoming game?
Dude, I guarantee you, if we lose to Mississippi State and then that following week we lose to Kentucky, Coach O will leave. People don't understand. Like, people always say, like, Coach O shouldn't be in the hot seat. He won a national championship. Dude, Les Miles won a championship in 2007, and we had a horrible season after that. And you know he was in the hot seat. He was going to lose his job. He literally won a national championship.
And there was
they said, all right, got to bring it back together, tighten back up.
Because college football is like the microwave-ist of microwave shit. You know what I'm saying?
For sports, I've never seen something move as fast.
It's bad, bro. Like, and it's a waste to these players' career. Like Derek Stingley, this is his last year.
Draft stock going way down. Way down after some of these.
But so looking at something like that, that could end up being a steal for a team that is actually trying to put together and make something happen. And the Saints, and, you know, just like we were talking about the recruiting before, are more likely to go for people that might not be the most hype that might produce. So we might get a steal like that. And I'm kind of excited to see where the season goes, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't have a lot of high hopes. It's been a lot of disappointment in recent years. But this first game felt good, you know.
Man, what?
I didn't know what to really expect, but it felt good.
I hope Sean's watching.
We destroyed the Packers. Like,
dusted.
The spread said that the Packers were going to win by at least 4 points, and they didn't even score 4 points.
But that was sinking though. Like, oh no, they were about to score for the first time in so long. They brought in Jordan Love, and the man threw an interception, and they started laughing,
bro. Jameis Winston threw for 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Talk about it.
He probably threw for the most touchdowns this week. I have to check and see.
I'm sure.
But 5 tugs, bro.
And people was talking crazy about my boy Jameis.
Crableg, man. People don't understand. He's in New Orleans. We have unlimited crab legs. Like,
he's good.
He accomplished it.
He's good.
Like, he has nothing to
And
worry
guess what?
about.
I'm sure they bring him by the boatload to his house. His house. He don't have to look for anything else.
We're gonna win the NFC South again.
I think. And then what?
We probably might lose in like the
no. We'll come back. We'll fix that energy.
Might lose in the second round.
You think it's gonna be a second round this time?
It depends on our corners.
I think it's a first, or we get a Super Bowl.
Let me go ahead and say this. I know this is nuts and crazy, and we're being typical Saints fans here.
Let's go ahead and talk about Saints fans here. This is why we make wild proposition.
But I'll say, in a world, I won't even say a what if. In a world where the Saints win their Super Bowl off of the first Jameis year starting, how do we act?
Oh, man, I'm talking the most shit in the world. Simply because, like, bro, Jameis Winston, no one would have ever seen that coming. People laugh at this man for eating the W. And, like, you know.
That was still crazy.
The shenanigans.
That was definitely still crazy.
I like the charisma, you know.
I like him getting hype.
I love the charisma.
And I think this is the first time we have swagger in a quarterback. And it's nothing against Drew. It's Drew gained his from the team. You know
he was getting older.
Mm-hmm. And you could tell the young kids like fired him up, you know what I'm saying, and got him hot and ready. But it's like, if you
that's very wild.
That was a wild statement. That was a wild statement.
30, but that's
but
wild.
Anyway, but it's like Jameis, I think you see the teams, like the swags of the teams where the head of the ship is the person also giving people the sauce because of the charisma and everything and really just being amped up. I think that's going to be really dope to see a Saints team with that, because we really haven't seen that in years when it comes to the leader of the team. And once again, not taking anything away from Drew, we got that Super Bowl and everything, but it's just going to be it's nice to see a new change. It's nice to see a change starting off in a good way.
For sure. And I'm excited to see what happens. I'm hoping that this season can actually captivate me long enough to make it throughout the whole thing, and I'll drop off when the NBA starts up. It's kind of sad to say that, but it is what it is. Yo, I've been finding other sports to just entertain me in that meantime, man. I'm watching the WNBA. I'm watching F1. Like, I'm good up until the NBA is back. So hopefully the NFL will do that, but we'll see. No. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm stopping being a hater on certain players too, because like I just want to see some guys like succeed. You know,
amen. And it's also, speaking about NBA, I will say, to lead us out, what are some of y'all's most what are some of the moments you are most excited for this NBA season and some of the teams you are most excited to watch? Do y'all want me to start or do y'all want to go?
You're going to have to start. I have to think a little bit.
What are some like teams and players and moments and things I'm just excited for? That's tough. I'm excited for Jason Tatum. Mm-hmm. I'm excited because he's on watch, not because of him, but because he hasn't been able to win yet and how high people like have him touted. And like he deserves it. He's that good, but can you make something happen even if you have nothing? And that's the important part because he's had stuff and they just haven't gone the distance and like even getting to like a championship. I'm excited to see what the Nuggets can do because I've been saying the Nuggets were supposed to win a championship for a little while, or at least they were not supposed to, but they had a chance to. I think if everyone's healthy, they're probably most dangerous team in the league. Okay. Yeah, and the Rockets. Those two are I try to see what they're about to get into.
Hey, yes, sir. For me, I'm most excited, to be quite honest with you, with the old man squad of Lakers, because I want to see how it pans out. Truly, it's just like the question mark of the old man squad of Lakers, and then I guess you have to throw in the old man squad of the Nets too, because that's the little old man rivalry there.
And Clay.
But then I have to go ahead and say next is nigga. No, I'm dumb excited to watch Klay Thompson play basketball again. Sure. I'm so excited to watch Klay Thompson play basketball again. Plus, I think a lot of people have written Golden State out a little early. Like, I think with the Klay, if Klay comes back in form, since obviously like praying and we're going to hope for a real recovery. But if he comes back in form, I think they're right back in the mix, especially because of how much spreading that adds for the team.
And Ben Simmons going to end up there.
Ben Simmons is waiting. That man said he's not playing a game. Half his money's already guaranteed this season. He's really ready to sit.
He's losing a lot for every game that he's been, or every training camp day and things like that. He's been missing it, but he just don't care. He's not showing up. So I don't know.
The Bulls and the Hornets are the most excited I am to watch.
Definitely.
Teams, like I want to see LaMelo and I want to see LiAngelo and I want to see Lonzo.
You know, I'm going to be basic and say the Lakers just because I want Westbrook to win the ring.
So bad.
I really want Westbrook to win the ring.
That's a real nigga.
I really, really do. Like, as much as I want James Harden to win the ring, I know that sounds wild, but I want Westbrook to win.
I want Harden to win one too, though. He seems like a real cool dude.
He
like,
does.
Real nigga.
He does. He does. I love his finesse,
Yeah.
but I have to see. I love seeing hard work like pay off, and Westbrook is
for sure
is
the hardest worker in the NBA.
Yeah, he's the hardest worker in the NBA. Like you can say, no one saw that Wizards team even sneaking into the playoffs last year, and they did it.
I think before the season, I did. When they started off so badly, I just figured like it was just raps. I jumped quick. Like
Bradley Beal played like maybe like one game out of 5 every time too. Like
it was just bad.
It was bad, and he willed that team to the playoffs. Like you have to admire that kind of stuff, man. Like,
exactly. Plus, it seems like Braun wants to give him the keys in terms of just like controlling the team. So I'm excited to watch that dynamic because Braun, if any player is willing to step back, even though they know they're the face of the league, it seems like a LeBron James is that player. Like he seems like do what the team needs to win.
I mean, shit, on year 19, at this point, if you got to take a step back, that's okay. You know, it's kind of crazy. Shaq wanted to take a step back year 10 or something like that.
Yeah, Shaq wanted to take a step back early. He was like, nah, D-Wade, this is your ship.
Man, so it doesn't, all that's kind of crazy. But we'll see more how all these things kind of unfold. Again, not too many predictions because we're still like kind of a little ways out. We've talked on a lot of the things that we can talk on. So we'll see them when they actually start unfolding. But I don't know about you. Anything else you got to talk about, my boy?
No, that was it for me.
All right.
Shit, I'm done too, you guys. I have to pee again.
But you already know what it is.
We'll say with that, my name is Chuka.
My name is Ozigo.
I'm Cullen. So.
Yes, Sirski. And this is the Offspace Podcast.
Yes, sir.